Imagine this. You work your fingers to the bone for years. Late nights, early mornings, skip vacations. Always the one stepping up when others backed out. You hit every target. You led the toughest projects. You trained the team. You even fixed the mistakes others tried to bury. Everyone around you, from co-workers to clients, believed one thing was certain. You earned that promotion. But then the announcement comes. And it's not you. It's the boss's nephew. A guy who's been at the company for barely a year. Who doesn't even understand how half the systems work. A guy who once asked you what a deliverable was. But hey, he's got the right last name, and that's all that seems to matter. So what do? Do you suck it up and stay silent, hoping they'll notice you next time? Or do you stand up, take control of your dignity, and walk out in a way they'll never forget? In this video, I'm going to share exactly what I did after getting blindsided by corporate favoritism. My story isn't just about quitting. It's about sending a message they'll never shake off. You won't want to miss this. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button if you've ever been overlooked at work. Subscribe for more powerful revenge stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of justice served. I used to believe that hard work always paid off. For 6 years, I poured everything I had into my job at Stratton & Company, a mid-sized marketing agency in the heart of Chicago. I was never the flashiest. I didn't play OfficePolitics. I wasn't the kind of guy who posted fake hustle quotes on LinkedIn or laughed at every manager's joke in meetings. But I got things done. Clients asked for me by name. My team trusted me. I worked late, showed up early, never missed a deadline, and turned floundering accounts into six-figure contracts. Everyone, from junior associates to department heads, knew I was in line for the upcoming promotion. Senior account director, a position I had been unofficially training for the past year. Then Connor happened. Connor Grant, the boss's 24-year-old nephew, arrived like a walking TikTok ad for mediocrity. He had the slick back hair, loud designer sneakers, and the ego of someone who'd never been told no in his life. He was fresh out of a questionable online MBA program, talked more about networking and strategy, and once asked in a client meeting, wait, what does CPM actually stand for? At first, I didn't worry. He was a joke, frankly. Even clients rolled their eyes when he spoke. Then one Friday afternoon, I remember vividly, the entire department was called in for an announcement. Our director, Lisa, stood at the front with a forced smile plastered across her face. Mr. Grant, our CEO and Connor's uncle, loomed beside her. We're excited to announce, Lisa said, that the position of senior account director will be filled internally. Please join us in congratulating. My heart thumped in my chest. Connor Grant. I laughed, out loud. I genuinely thought it was a joke. But it wasn't. There was applause, but it was scattered and uncomfortable. You could hear the tension in the silence between the claps. My teammates glanced at me with disbelief, pity, even anger. Connor, the guy who used the company Slack to ask where to buy crypto? I stood there, numb, while he walked to front and said something about disrupting legacy workflows, which meant nothing, of course. I wasn't just passed over. I was betrayed. Silently. Strategically. Later, Lisa called me into her office. She gave me the usual garbage. This was a difficult decision. We value your work immensely, and we hope you continue to grow here. I asked one question. Was it ever even on the table for me? She looked away. Honestly, Connor's appointment came from the top. Nepotism. Plain and ugly. They didn't care about my record, my results, my loyalty. They only cared about bloodlines. And that was the moment something inside me broke. That weekend, I didn't touch my phone. I didn't check emails. I didn't even leave my apartment. I sat in my living room, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last year. All the times I stayed late to cover for Connor's mistakes. All the weekends I spent building pitches while he was posting poolside selfies on Instagram. I kept asking myself one question. Why did I let them treat me like this? Because I was nice? Because I thought talent would speak louder than politics? My thoughts spiraled. I remember the project where I saved a $2 million client account. I wasn't rewarded. Connor got presented to the board and took all the credit. I remembered how I trained two interns who both got promoted faster than me. I remembered every time I swallowed my pride because I thought my day would come, but it never did. And now I saw the truth. They never planned to reward me. They planned to use me as a workhorse, as someone who held the department together so they could give promotions to family and friends. Sunday night, I opened my laptop. My cursor hovered over my resignation template, a file I kept around for bad days. It was always blank. But now, my fingers started typing. Not a resignation, a declaration. This wasn't going to be a quiet exit. I wasn't going to vanish with a handshake and a cupcake party. I was going to make sure they remembered me. Not as a loyal employee, but as a guy who exposed their hypocrisy. I started writing down every instance I had been overlooked, every unethical shortcut Connor had taken, every lie I'd been asked to cover. By the time I closed my laptop, it was 3 a.m., and I had a plan. I showed up to work Monday in my best suit, not my usual business casual. I wanted to look sharp, not just professional, but memorable. At 10 a.m., we had our weekly departmental meeting. Mr. Grant was present, likely to bask in the glory of his nephew's first big day as a director. Connor was already in the front row, bragging to a colleague about his visionary roadmap. When the floor opened for updates, I raised my hand. Actually, I have something to share, I said. I stood, pulling a crisp envelope from my jacket pocket. This is my formal resignation, effective immediately. A wave of murmurs swept the room. But I wasn't done. I unfolded a second sheet, my real resignation letter. I printed it out and rehearsed every word. I cleared my throat and began. For 6 years, I believed in this company. I believed that performance was rewarded, loyalty was honored, and talent would rise. But last week, I learned that none of those things matter here. Instead, what matters is your last name. Gasps, shuffling in seats. Mr. Grant's eyes narrowed. I was told Connor was chosen because he brings fresh ideas. Yet I trained him. I fixed his messes. I covered for his absences. And I delivered results while he delivered buzzwords. Lisa tried to interrupt. I held up a hand. I'm not done. I turned to face my colleagues. To the rest of you, I admire you. Many of you are more talented than this company deserves. Don't let this place convince you that being quiet and competent is a weakness. If they won't see your value, leave. Loudly, I dropped the envelope on the conference table and walked out. No one followed Connor, but 5 people walked out behind me. It was the loudest silence I've ever heard. By Tuesday, the company was in chaos. My inbox was flooded with messages from coworkers, some cheering me on, others asking for advice on how to leave. 2 managers told me confidentially they had already started updating their resumes. Connor? His first week was a disaster. Clients didn't take him seriously. One even threatened to pull their contract unless I came back. I didn't. By the end of the month, 3 key accounts had dropped. Revenue fell. Morale plummeted. Rumors swirled that the board was questioning Mr. Grant's judgment. Good. As for me, I took a few weeks off, breathed, went hiking, reconnected with friends I had been too busy to see. Then came a call from a competitor firm. They had heard about my resignation through the grapevine. They wanted to interview me. Within 2 weeks, I was hired at a 35% pay increase, with full creative control and a clear path to leadership. And the best part? They valued me for my work, not my name, not my connections, just what I brought to the table. Leaving Stratton and Company wasn't just a career move. It was a liberation, a declaration that I knew my worth, and I refused to let anyone discount it. So let me ask you, what would you do if your boss handed your dream job to his clueless nephew? Would you keep your head down and stay silent? Or would you rise up and lead with your dignity and your head held high? I chose to walk away, not in shame, but in strength, because no job is worth being made invisible. No paycheck is worth tolerating injustice. Speech balloon, drop a comment below if you've ever been overlooked for someone less qualified. I want to hear your story. Fire if the story fired you up. Smash that like button. Loudspeaker, hit subscribe for more powerful revenge stories that remind you to never settle. Bell and turn on notifications, because you deserve to hear stories that validate your struggle and celebrate your strength. Because sometimes the most epic revenge is knowing they had you and lost you